Hey guys, this is Samir for Digit.in and today we're going to take a look at an in-depth review of the Gionee eLife E8. So kicking things off here is a quick look at the specifications of the Gionee eLife E8. To begin with, it has a 6-inch AMOLED display with a 2560 by 1440 pixel resolution. Under the hood, it has the MediaTek MT6795 Helio X10 chipset with an octa-core CPU clocked at 2 GHz coupled with 3 GB of RAM. It has 64 GB built-in storage expandable to an additional 128 GB via a microSD card. The rear of the smartphone has a 24 megapixel camera with optical image stabilization, face detection, autofocus and dual LED dual tone flash. The rear camera also has the ability to shoot video in 4K. The front has an 8 megapixel selfie camera and a 3500 mAh non-removable battery powers the entire package. Coming to the build and the design of the Gionee eLife E8, the smartphone has a plastic body, but the plastic used is of very good quality. If you've seen the Golden Nexus 6P, for example, this smartphone does look slightly duller, but on its own, standalone, the device does look like your average candy bar form factor smartphone. You'd be forgiven for thinking that the device was made from metal considering the construction quality it has. The back of the smartphone is removable, but you don't have access to the battery, which can be a bit of a bummer. Under the rear panel, you have the 2 SIM card slots along with a microSD card slot, and the microSD card slot is not a hybrid slot, so thank God for that. Coming to the placement of the buttons on the device, the right has the volume rocker and the power button with a dedicated shutter button below that. Even though the power button isn't textured like we've seen on other smartphones, you can still easily find it thanks to the ergonomic design of the smartphone. Overall, the build of the Gionee eLife E8 is good and it can survive a few drops from low heights, even though we recommend you don't do that. Another con with the design of the Gionee eLife E8 is the fact that the capacitive buttons that rest below the screen are not backlit. So if you're someone that isn't used to the placement of these buttons, it's going to take a bit of getting used to, especially under low lit conditions. Coming to the display, like we've said, it has a 2560 by 1440 pixel resolution on a 6-inch display. Now, standalone, the display is quite good. Colors are vibrant. It's easy to read books, browse websites, watch videos. But if you compare it to, let's say, the Nexus 6P, then the eLife E8 display does suffer a little bit. It has a slightly blue tint. It has a hue bias and dim saturation. And at full brightness too, it's slightly dimmer than the Nexus 6P in our experience. Moving on to the user interface, the Gionee eLife E8 runs on Android 5.1 Lollipop with the Amigo 3.0 UI overlaying it. The UI is similar to what we've seen on other smartphones. There is no app drawer and the settings menu are a little different from stock Android. Well, now that we've got a few basic functions of the phone out of the way, there are 2 features that I really want to talk about. The first, of course, is the drop-down notification and the pull-ups icon. Now, when you see the drop-down notification, you have only your notifications and none of the shortcuts. And where you have the pull-up drawer, you have actually all the shortcuts. We've seen phones like the Chico Qtera that have these shortcuts both on the pull-up drawer and the pull-down notification lister, and it looks a little crowded, and I really like how the interface is a lot clearer on this Gionee smartphone. The second thing that I want to talk about is a little feature called as a fake call. What you need to do is you need to tap the fake call button, and after about 15 seconds, 15 seconds, your phone is going to start ringing with an unknown number which you can pick up. And this is a really nifty feature if you want to get out of a sticky situation and you know that no one's going to call you. Well, I'm getting that call. You also hear a voice which says, "Can you send me the files as soon as possible?" So that's nice. So even if someone's eavesdropping, they can actually hear the voice coming from the earpiece if you've set the volume really high or they're standing really close trying to eavesdrop on your conversation. Moving on to everyday performance, the device works very well, be it texting, calling, playing games or watching videos. The screen is a treat. Now the speaker is placed at the back of the phone, which means that when you place it face up, the audio might be a little muffled, but that's okay considering the speaker is relatively loud and you'd do better to use a pair of headphones or hold the phone in your hand while watching videos. A noticeable thing is that the fingerprint sensor is considerably dented when compared to the likes of, let's say, the Nexus 5X, 6P, Honor 7 or even the iPhone 6s. This isn't a bad thing by any means, it just ensures that your finger gets the sensor right rather than just partially touching it, and this kind of ensures that you get fingerprint recognition immediately. It isn't as fast as the Nexus imprint, but it still works very well. Moving on to the camera performance of the eLife E8, it is extremely good. I mean, the images produced are sharp, clear, and it's easy to achieve the depth of field effect by simply tapping the area you want to focus on, even though there is a specific mode which you can use to get better depth of field. The camera, of course, has the standard slew of preset options that you can use from. If you're a casual photographer for social networking websites, clicking in auto is the best thing to do. Like we said, the camera does produce really rich photos, and it's a great camera to have on a smartphone. Even when it comes to playing games, the smartphone works very well. It played every game that we threw at it. Be it even in multitasking, you could have up to 30 to 40 apps open on the device at the same time and you would see no hiccup. Probably the occasional app reboot, which we think happens because the app was updated on the Google Play Store, but apart from that, the device functions butter smooth. So let's take a look at a few of the pros and cons that we think the Gionee eLife E8 has. To begin with, it has a pretty good battery life, it has a really good camera, it has overall smooth performance, it's great for gaming and trying all the games that we threw at it, and the Amigo UI has some interesting features for it. What does this phone have that is a little against it? Well, in the cons, the reproduction of the colors in the display isn't as great, especially when you keep it next to, let's say, the Samsung Galaxy S6 or the Nexus 6P smartphone. As you can see, the size is really big and it's a little unwieldy for single-handed use. So if you're someone that likes a more compact phone where you can use it with one hand, you're better off looking at some of the smaller options available. And the fact that even though the back cover is removable, you can't actually get the battery out and replace it is a bit of a bummer. So there you have it. We think the Gionee eLife E8 is a great smartphone for the price which it's priced at. It can take on some phones that are priced at 5,000 to 10,000 rupees more than it. And if you have a budget of 35,000 rupees and are looking for a phone that's great value for money, you can definitely consider the Gionee eLife E8.